In recent weeks, leaks have begun to appear in the technology industry that at first looked like another futuristic concept. But now, more and more analysts are leaning toward the idea that this is a real development inside Samsung. According to several sources, including Bloomberg, Reuters, and the South Korean publication, the Elec, the company is conducting closed work on a next-generation device internally referred to as the zero-field device. This is not just a smartphone, but a fundamentally new class of personal devices. According to insiders, this device is being created with one key idea: to completely eliminate the feel of physical presence of technology in the user's hands. And that is why visualizations of a device that seems to float in the air without touching any surface have begun to appear online. At the same time, it is important to understand that this is not about real anti-gravity, as is often portrayed on social media. Inside Samsung, they fully understand the limitations of modern physics. However, the company is betting not on actual levitation, but on an effect that is perceived by the brain as something impossible. This is a combination of an ultra-thin body, magnetic interactions, transparent supporting elements, and advanced optical solutions. Internal documents referenced by journalists describe the device as visually weightless, and this effect could become a new industry standard. According to sources, the project is under the personal control of Samsung top management, as it is seen as a strategic response to growing pressure from Apple. Competition between these companies has long gone beyond ordinary smartphones. It is now a battle over what the next stage of human interaction with technology will look like. After the market reached saturation with classic smartphones, both companies are searching for the next breakthrough. Apple is focusing on ecosystems and spatial computing. Samsung, judging by the leaks, is taking a different path, trying to literally remove the device from the user's reality. According to analysts, the key goal of the project is to create the feeling that the interface exists separately from the hardware. This means the gadget itself becomes almost invisible, and interaction occurs through projections, light, and motion. Some insiders claim that Samsung is testing prototypes capable of projecting interface elements directly into the air. These are not yet full holograms in the classical sense, but they are already advanced enough visual effects to create the feeling that the device is not limited by a physical screen. Special attention is being paid to materials. According to rumors, the device is being built from new composites that are both strong and practically weightless. Samsung engineers are working to reduce thickness to a point where the device is perceived not as an object, but as part of the surrounding environment. This is where the idea of zero feel comes from. According to sources in supply chains, the company is already negotiating with manufacturers of new types of batteries that can be integrated into ultra-thin designs without losing capacity, which is one of the main technical challenges that must be solved. At the same time, the project is developing against the backdrop of an intensifying technological race. After statements from Apple about a future of screenless devices and active investments in spatial interfaces, Samsung cannot afford to fall behind. Moreover, inside the company, there is a belief that they can be the first to bring not just a concept, but a commercial product to market. Analysts note that Samsung has repeatedly outpaced competitors in experimental form factors. It is enough to recall foldable smartphones, which initially seemed like a strange idea, but ultimately formed an entire segment of the market. Now the situation may repeat itself, but on a much higher level. If previously the focus was on the shape of the screen, now it is about a complete rethinking of the concept of the device itself. According to the Elec, the first prototype demonstrations may take place in a closed format within the next few years. The public unveiling will most likely be postponed until the technology reaches a sufficient level of stability. Samsung understands the risks. Bringing a raw product to market means losing in the long term, which is why the company is acting with maximum caution. However, the very fact that such developments are underway is already changing the perception of the future of technology. Investors are closely monitoring the situation, and any confirmation of the project's existence could impact the market, because such a device is capable not just of occupying a niche, but of completely changing the rules of the game. If Samsung succeeds in creating a gadget that feels intangible, it will mark a new stage in the evolution of technology. And in that case, Apple, Google, and other players will be forced to respond. Some experts are already calling this a race for the disappearance of the device. The idea is that technology becomes so integrated into everyday life that it is no longer perceived as a separate object, and Samsung, apparently, wants to be the first to bring this concept into reality. It is important to note that this is not science fiction, but a gradual evolution of already existing technologies. Magnetic systems, optical illusions, new materials, and projection interfaces already exist in various forms. The task for Samsung is to combine them into a single device, and if it succeeds, the market could change faster than many expect. According to sources, inside the company, the project is considered one of the key priorities for the next decade. This is not just another product, it is a bet on the future, and if the leaks turn out to be true, we may soon witness the first step toward a world where devices stop being physical objects and become part of the space around us. And as this information begins to leak into the public domain, there is a growing sense within the industry that we are on the verge of another technological turning point, because according to sources close to component suppliers in South Korea and Taiwan, Samsung has already moved from early prototypes to more stable engineering samples, which are being tested in closed laboratories and demonstrated to a limited circle of partners and investors. At the same time, as Bloomberg journalists note, the key focus is now not only on the visual floating effect, but also on tactile sensations, because engineers are trying to achieve a state where the device literally disappears in the user's hand, creating the feeling that they are interacting not with a physical object, but with a digital entity. And it is precisely here, according to analysts, that the main breakthrough lies, since this is not just about design, but about a complete rethinking of the interface between humans and machines, where the boundary between the device and the surrounding space begins to blur. In parallel, as Reuters reports, a separate direction is being formed within Samsung related to the integration of next-generation artificial intelligence, which will control not only the device's functions, but also adapt the interface itself to the user in real time. This means that visual elements, projections, and even the form of displayed information will dynamically change depending on context, behavior, and user preferences. And this already takes the project beyond the scope of a conventional gadget, turning it into a personal computing environment that exists around the user rather than inside a screen. At the same time, it is important that Samsung is operating under intense competition, since Apple is actively developing its own solutions in the field of spatial computing and wearable devices. And within the industry, it is increasingly being said that the next 5 years will be decisive in determining which company sets the standard for the next generation of technology. If Samsung really becomes the first to bring to market a device that creates the illusion of weightlessness and the absence of physical form, it could gain a significant strategic advantage, especially considering that the company already has a powerful manufacturing base and is capable of scaling new technologies faster than competitors. And it is precisely at this point that Samsung now finds itself balancing between experiment and the future, trying to be the first to take a step into a world where devices are no longer perceived as devices, but become an invisible yet constant part of our lives.